Venerated is in. That is huge, especially for how Luminosity are expecting to play. They've got their main Sova on lock. Prainer did a great job, but now the coach can sit from the sidelines and tell the team what they need to improve on. And for Venerated, we touched on how this is a great new start, a great fresh start for him and bits and pieces of the mixed up roster.
Well.
Now, early looks, he's out of commission, and it's the Pistols going the way here with what looks like later back.
Certainly not the start he was looking for, but yes, it seems like either internet figured out or whatever the issue was, it has been rectified. He is going to be sitting on the sideline for the rest of this round, though, as Luminosity, excuse me, I believe that maybe swapped as the spike is down. Nonetheless, you see Thief up in heaven as the Roomba has been dropped as well. They're going to go ahead and push on the side. He's going to be flashed out, and Thief is the next one to drop. It's still going to be a 5v3 as chaos is just ensuing left and right. Both members are dropping, and it looks like a really nice piece out of a proto, but it's going to be Zid and Biotic Rain, the last couple to land the shots that were important. Later bot wins that pistol round.
Whew. I mean, we are going to get those names at the top switched up for you very momentarily, but wow, what a great start here for later bot. You know, we've tended to see Haven be a little bit more attacker favored. But I don't know what has happened since the Killjoy patch. It seems like some of those win rate statistics have kind of flopped on their head. I still kind of expect Haven to be a little bit more attacker friendly. I mean, you think about the map logically, 3 sites, defense split a little bit too thin, and so it can be difficult for them to react and often play retake. But for later bot, great early round to kick us off. And you know, the desk touched on that. Not a relatively young roster of players, so we'll see how they can make do up against some hungry new blood here in Luminosity.
It's going to be a slow, quiet push as both teams just a couple of feet away from each other. Zid's going to push in. First kill is going to go in favor of DSK. KZ's going to trade it out, and it looks like for now the pistols seem to be working. But again, later bot with the gun advantage is doing what they need to. But that's Biotic Rain is a ghost. He doesn't even have an up buy, and he's doing just fine. Luminosity just down to Thief here. As it looks like later bot's going to jump out to an early 2-0 lead here on Haven. But of course, as I say that, Thief is able to get one with the classic cleaned up at the hands of the Bulldog from Biotic Rain.
That was very close there in that instance. I wonder if Thief dismisses instead of the Devour, and he finds a little bit more information and get. I mean, he's kind of out in the open, but I wonder if he dismissed instead of Devour there, what he could have found. Maybe an extra pick, put them in a position to really hurt some of that economy. But now it is the gun round. Zid able to afford an operator on this round. That's going to be very important to keep an eye on and keep track of. Position towards the A site, or sorry, position towards the A site, and we'll see how Luminosity are going to prepare this round. Something I did want to point out is that the swap over for Thief onto that Reyna. We've seen how impactful Reyna can be, and so far, my favorite Reyna, haven't seen play yet, Roka, on Space Station Gaming. Haven't seen, obviously, casted their matches quite yet. But when he comes in, he'll definitely show you how to play Reyna. I'll hope to see Thief be able to show that to the same great effect here as well.
Oh, Thief spots, Thief shoots, Thief kills. POS sitting on the sideline for a while, and Thief is going to get another chance, but it's not going to go nearly as well as Biotic Rain is able to clean things up. It's going to be a 4v4 as the push is certainly going to be one onto A. Stellar almost got cleaned up by that bot, but no, it doesn't matter. He gets 2 clean shots on there. KZ gets the last one as well. Luminosity with an important round win over later bot. They got the guns, they got what they needed, they got the round win.
I even think in that instance, you know, we put a lot of focus on the economy because, you know, being MR12, it can definitely bounce back and forth very quickly. And, you know, the loss bonuses, all that good stuff. And for later bot, they invested quite a bit into that round. They walked in with an operator. And so now you can expect, while normally they would just stick with what they had in the round previous, but they didn't have a lot of players remaining after that engagement in that second round. As the defense was holding on to the C site, we had the flank around from Thief, but overall, a lot of damage was done to the economy, and as a result, you're seeing later bot on the pistol. which gives Luminosity an opportunity to not only A, tie us up 2-2, but B, start to build up some momentum up against Laterbot, who have had great success in these first early 2 rounds.
I love the way Luminosity is playing this. Venerated using that drone. A little bit delayed. It wasn't right off the bat, just to get some intel. And he did spot one down C long. But wisely, Luminosity realizes that that's not enough to fully rotate on. That's not enough to invest everything over on C side, and they stay tight. And that's perfect. Laterbot gets the heck out of C. Now we're going to see him make a push onto A. And there are members of Luminosity there to save things. Now, thank you once again to the observers. It is going to be a pistol round for Laterbot. So you expect this to go in favor of Luminosity. But we've seen pistol rounds go the wrong way before.
That was a camera that managed to go through. The peak, oh, KZ. An important shot to land. I think that would have halted the push, given Stellar an opportunity to swing, but now they just give up control and will force themselves into the retake. Spike going down, so Laterbot will have some credits that they can work with into the next round, even if they end up losing this one, which, surprise, surprise, should be a loss for them here. But we'll see if Biotic Rain can find a couple with the Hunter's Fury here. Not going to connect, and now the retake going to be very antsy here for Luminosity as they have yet to push in. Venerated finds one with a shock dart. That's going to be good, and now they'll start to funnel in. Shots through the boxes. It's Biotic Rain, the only player towards Banana that is able to find success onto Thief. And now, as the spike is starting to be diffused, they're going to work together here for Luminosity, push through the smoke, and find themselves that even round differential. 2-2, Luminosity bouncing back, and Laterbot likely going to be into the gun round here. We'll see how they can go toe-to-toe with Luminosity. And I think our first official gun round of this half.
Yeah, Biotic Rain, he had a good spot, but just for being as outnumbered as he was, that's tough. I do love the investment on the Hunter's Fury on that pistol round to try to equalize things, very similar to what a Bladestorm would be at a Jet on an eco round. But it just wasn't enough. And then when you combine that with the shock darts coming in from over the top from Venerated, it's just really tough to make something happen in that round. But again, it looks like Laterbot's going to push over onto A. They also get the opening pick.
But Thief, he sees POS pass, but KZ providing that firepower for Sewers. He's actually taking out Biotic Rain, gonna find him, and it's KZ who's there from distance, finding the shot that's needed, and Thief will just decimate the rest of the opposition. Abe, the last member standing, has to watch his friends fall to the wayside, and now in a 1v3, still doable if he can take these individual 1v1s, but unlikely now at this point.
And worth noting, not that I'm suggesting he should use it here, but he does also have the showstopper if he finds himself in a bind. But there are 45 seconds left, so it's not just the 3 guys on Luminosity or KZ's op, but it was the clock as well. Clock was not a factor. However, as he got cleaned up, Luminosity takes a 1-round lead.
Whew. It's a very interesting round. You know, I think if Thief in that instance takes a shot on POS, he doesn't find 3 on the round there. Yes, KZ was able to provide some assistance from long, from A-long. And in case Thief fell, he could get a refrag or 2. But the fact that Thief held on to the patience there, waited for more information. I think KZ was playing with a look in towards Sewers, and then it was like, oh, you've got a position, you've got players, I'm going to help support. And in that communication, in that patience, was the victory. So now another round. Another opportunity for Laterbot to tie us back around 3-3. Lots of ultimates available on both sides. Still a few that haven't been used, that have been carried over round to round. And we'll see maybe if some of those are used here, like the Rolling Thunder to set up a push, or the Showstopper to deny, to clear out some of those close angles or back corners that they may not have access to immediately.
There was that Rolling Thunder you called. They also used the From the Shadows up there, and he got cleaned up. A Proto was able to cancel that out. But that is going to get Laterbot access onto the site. DSK able to land a couple of really nice shots onto that Jet there and keep her at bay. But he has paid for it, down to 32 health. Here you hear the ult from Reyna has been used. On top of that, as the spike goes down, he's going to get blinded as they both retreat down to hell, trying to clear some space out. But right now, after all of the cacophony that just took place, it's still 5v5.
Make that a 5v4. It's a quick refrag there from a Prado up above it. Heaven, he's making it rain. 3 on the round, still 2 that remain. They'll be dropping down and cleaning them up. A Prado with 4 on the round. A beauty there for Luminosity. Even planting in a little bit of a different location there from LaterBot. Not the normal default we see by the box, but a Prado sending a very important message to LaterBot.
And that they just played that so well. And a Prado's a name that we called so many times before. I want to say, don't quote me on this, but I want to say he led the team in frags when we saw them on the last map on the Cypher of all things. So Prado's just, dude's having himself a field day. He's feeling himself, and it wasn't just on the last map. It's certainly carrying over here up against LaterBot. We talked about whether or not Luminosity, how much scarier could Luminosity be with Venerated on the roster? I think a Protoss so far has been the name to talk about here.
I think if anything, it's possible that KZ and Venerated have added a different atmosphere that has had the ability to put a Prado, Thief, and Stellar onto a whole nother spiritual level to help, you know, corral them all together and give them more positive vibes, positive confidence that maybe Hoppin and Physique were not able to bring that same level of, you know, positivity. But there's a lot of positivity in terms of kills here from a Prado, still able to mow down 2. Of course, less than ideal weaponry from LaterBot, but the HP bars are low, and the success rate of this round starting to dwindle down. That's going to be one here for Thief, and another shot to steal the deal there for Biotic Rain. Luminosity now leading by 3, and it's a great defender side here to kick us off, at least to start, Doug.
Yeah, and I think all of that was actually opened off by that pick from Venerated through the smoke. All the way from down, and yeah, it got traded out by a Sheriff, but having that kill early on was crucial to stopping that push. LaterBot wasn't able to get past that, and then again, a Prado shows up. He got 2, almost got the 3rd as well. Not able to land that spray transfer, but the gun difference there on top of a Prado and Venerated just really mowing them down that hallway just proved to be entirely too much. Now we're going to see a gun round, however, as it's going to be good against good, and Casey sitting on sideline for the entirety of this round.
Yeah, an opening headshot, that's got to feel bad, especially the positioning there from KZ. He was all the way up into the courtyard, expecting the push in from the hay bales. And a Prado, he's got a little bit of a push of his own. Cypher v Cypher, the man in the mirror, goes to the way of a Prado, and he's definitely feeling himself in this map against LaterBot. 4v4, Doug, and they're preparing for this push towards the C site.
Yeah, you hear the showstopper has been used. I don't think it connected onto anyone, but Thief was able to get the opening kill nonetheless. They're going to push their way over onto C, but the problem is the spike is coming up by itself, and Thief is there. It didn't matter, however, as Biotic Rain was able to take him out. That's going to get him onto the site, but the LaterBot seems to be separated. Zid is he's pushing in to Garage, but he's going to be doing so with an op. I don't know that he's going to have the gun personnel. Biotic Rain with 19 health and a Dream is able to get the best of a Prado, but it's not going to be around for long as a Dream turns into Nightmare. Luminosity balloon their lead.
I have to say there for a moment, it was very doable for LaterBot. They were in a position that they could have taken like these individual 1v1s. Poor timing on Zid. He was looking in towards the window there in the C garage. And just barely misses Stellar as they glance at each other in and out of the ADS, or at least specifically for Zid's case, the operator scope. And of course, Thief, have to really point out how well he played that. He was behind enemy lines and also in front of enemy lines at the same time. It's just maneuvering through the garage, netted him 2 picks, and those 2 picks were money. They were cash money. There was a moment there where he had to choose either kill a player or kill a recon bolt. Unfortunately, the decision-making was not ideal there in that instance, but, you know, it is what it is. You do what you can and still help his team win the round there. 6-2 moving into the next round. And eco likely here for LaterBot.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a hot and heavy eco up Garage as well. But I don't know that it's going to be around for long. DSK gets an important opening shot, but Stellar's going to trade it out. And that's going to force the push that looked like it was going to go up Garage, at least going to make him think twice about it for a little while. Abe, however, has made his way in. The Sheriff shot's not going to land. And Venerated is just going to wallbang him.
Wow. Wow, Venerated. Oh, Abe. He's also going to be sitting that one out. And now the 4v3. Doable. Doable. Winnable. Difficult, though. Very, very difficult. Spike at least going to be going down. Hunter's Fury from Venerated. That's POS out of commission. That'll at least delay the spike plant, but it's inevitable. It's gonna go down. But the question now becomes, can LaterBot hold this? They have a Phantom on DSK, but he's being pushed in aggressively. KZ gonna see him. He's gonna take him out. Prado, of course, there with the refrag. Biotic Rain waiting with the Vandal wings, and he's gonna see one, take one out, and of course, the rest of the team there with the man advantage on the swing puts us at 7-2. So, Doug, I think the possibility of a 7-5, I mean, I wouldn't throw it out the window, but that would be the most ideal case here. Like, I think there's a world where we see 9-3, and that is scary for LaterBot, because moving into the second half, we've seen how strong Luminosity are. They just showed us in that previous match, and they're showing us here again.
Yeah, I think I think all the fellas on the analyst desk seem to have called this one right so far. At least Luminosity just, quite frankly, look head and shoulders above LaterBot. And again, with Venerated back online, you question how much stronger they've even become. They seem to be clicking like a well-oiled machine here. Wow. And well, when you've got KZ opping, when you've got a Proto making hero play after hero play, what's not to like? However, this time it's actually LaterBot who were able to get a couple of important kills. Abe and DSK are going to drop 3 from the side of Luminosity, just going to leave Stellar and a Proto as the last 2 here over on C. But the spike is getting the heck out of dodge. They're rotating away.
Yeah, so unfortunate for Venerated there, doing his best Indiana Jones impersonation, trying to escape the boulder, but the boulder caught up. And just when he was out of dodge, he was taken out. And now the 2v3, they catch the other 2 players on the C site with the Allotrone. And now the rotation starts to come through. But Luminosity playing this slow, giving this a little bit more space. And right as they turn it down, they turn it right back up to 10. DSK now out of commission. Paranoia down below Hell as they now start to jump down. But POS unaffected by the Nightmare. And it's a Prado that gets a taste of a bad dream. And Biotic Rain, course, to follow suit. LaterBot answering back in a very much needed round, putting us at 7-3.
Yeah, and Luminosity just having the numbers disadvantage early on hurt, especially when they rotated out over to A. But that said, it was still close. They still managed to work it down to a 2v2. I think that missed Paranoia into Hell probably, I think if that connects, that probably wins them that round. So unfortunate. I think even with the lead that LaterBot had, for Luminosity to play that as close as they did, just is it really a testament to how well that team is playing. But LaterBot is not a squad to be slept on. This is on the attacking side. So again, statistically speaking, just based off of map data from the most recent Ignition Series event, this is an attack favored side. And right now that is not the case. Luminosity showing that they can dominate from both sides of the ball, so to speak.
I think the major difference between then and now was the Sage move, right? Seeing that a lot less, that might be a big factor as Thief is able to get out of there like a thief in the night. And they will grab control here of the Garage. It's going to be 1 here for Thief as he gets right back and involved, looking for that 3rd kill. DSK going to back away after finding Venerated. The 4v3 LaterBot need to re-strategize. How are they going to tackle the rest of this round? Down a man here in this instance.
The Spike still hanging out outside of Garage. Oh, the Rolling Thunder gets stopped at the hands of Thief. Give him a 3-piece, looking for the 4th, not able to connect. And as I say that, LaterBot are able to tie it up at the hands of POS and Zid. There you hear the Blade Storm has been used as well. Stellar with the clean shots. It's going to drop the spike. They know exactly where it is now, but the problem is you've got a Jet coming in as well. Zid somehow managing to fend both of them off, at least for the time being. He grabs the spike, and he's going to telly out. He manages to get all the way over onto A just by the thinnest of margins. He's going to get the spike down. He's got health. He's got a little bit of utility as well, but does he have the factor to win this 1v2?
Zid. 1v2. Smokes down.
Oh, they don't know where he
teleported
is.
out of there. Shot's good.
No.
No, the second doesn't connect. It's KZ. Gives him a kitchen knife right to the dome. And that's going to be Luminosity putting us at 8-4. Even sending some angry shots in his direction. But what a wonderful attempt there from Zid. Like you called it, the slimmest of margins. The corner that he was hiding in as he teleported out. You even saw in that instance KZ pushed forward with the tailwind. They try to get him as he escaped, but like a evil villain, he said, "I'll see you guys next time," and escapes into the wind. And of course, they catch up to him moments later, but nevertheless, a valiant effort there from Zid. And now as we enter into the last round of the half, weapons online. We'll see if LaterBot can bring us 8-4.
An ever important round 2 when you consider the pistol dynamics just waiting for us on the other half, or on the other side of this half. And look at how aggressively Luminosity is playing. This Thief has worked his way all the way up through Garage. He's going to get back into their spawn, and if this is left unchecked, he's going to wreak havoc. But Venerated looked like he was, excuse me, not Venerated, the Sova looked like he sniffed it out.
Oh,
but Thief, Thief has managed to make his way in anyway.
Oh, oh my God, he misses it because the Hunter's Fury pushes you back. The rest of the team starting to push in onto the A site. They find a trade, a Prado behind the box, holding down the fort. DSK breaks it open with a battering ram, and now they'll get that spike down. The 3v2, and Thief still coming in from behind. They have no idea. They might have thought maybe he pushed in from the courtyard, but no, he's been there all along. He's gonna take out one. It's refragged there by Zid. Now the 1v2. It's the pump fake, but they are not buying it. KZ up above, floating over, up in the air is where he goes, and down he will come with the 3-piece from Zid. It's Venerated, defusing the spike. Pros don't fake. He's trying to stick it. Oh my God, Venerated! That is what I'm talking about. That is how you reappear in the roster.
Such a brutal situation there. He had 35 health. His position was tough, and they knew where he was, but he had no choice. He had to force that, and that was just so close. What a way to close out this first half. The last 2 rounds so close at the hands of Zid to try and make it interesting. But again, Luminosity, regardless of that, walk away with a very comfortable lead in the first half. And as far as the theatrics have gone at the hands of LaterBot, there's a very real opportunity here where we blink and Luminosity is up 11-3. This pistol round needs to be the dam that opens for LaterBot's comeback to arrive. If they lose this pistol round, they're almost 6 feet under here.
LaterBot with a very interesting play to kick off the round. 4 stacked towards his A side, gambling the push, and as a result, the pandemonium will ensue. Frag after frag traded away. Zid now pushing forward, finds 2 in the round, and they'll decimate some of the opposition, have control of that spike. But it's Thief alongside KZ coming in from behind, from the defender side, squeezing them down into the cubby, and they will get control of that spike once again. POS now having to deal with the 1v2. Likely going to be Luminosity backing away, but we'll see as they take their time. A minute left on the clock, Doug. Still very doable for both sides. But this pistol, like we illuminated, is very important for LaterBot to win.
Yeah, but the numbers disadvantage that LaterBot find themselves in, especially in a pistol round, just proves to be so much more difficult. You see them rotating over onto A. I believe there was a tripwire that they may pass. Yep, that's going to be the cue that POS is going to have to rotate. But by the time he gets there, the spike is surely going to be down, and now he's been given away as well. There's the spike, a 1v2, and I believe it's just 3 ghosts across the board. What can POS do as he sneaks through Garage? Again, an imperative round for LaterBot to win.
POS trying to do his best.
Oh, no.
One's gonna come easy. Needs to find the second. KZ playing close. Tailwind's out. Playing cat and mouse, but the cat's gonna find the mouse soon enough. There's the tail. Oh. There's the headshot. And there's the pistol for LaterBot.
Oh, they needed that so desperately just to even have a chance at the second half here. Again, if Luminosity wins that, I mean, you can probably wrap this thing up, slap a bow on it, and send it out the door. But LaterBot winning that pistol round buys them so much time, buys them so much life. An 11-3 as opposed to a 9-5. That's a totally different conversation, Simo. So LaterBot proving to have resilience in situations that look insanely dire. Now, they're not out of the woodworks yet by any means, as Luminosity, again, on the attacking side, should have the advantage as the defenses are stretched thin on the other side. But it's still, it's a vote of confidence. It bodes well if you're LaterBot, and that's certainly going to help as well.
At the end of the day, it's just round buffers that they have. You know, getting this pistol, this could put us at 9-5, and that's good. That's great for later bots, you know, confidence, like you mentioned, moving forward into the rounds where they'll know they'll have rounds to play with. But for now, it's Luminosity at least answering back valiantly enough to make it hurt. 3-2. And now it's just down to the one. Stellar in a 1v2. That's going to be the paranoia. It's good, but it can't get the tango down. Gets outwitted, outmoved by POS there with the smooth moves, and it's 9-5. But still, very expensive round caused by Luminosity.
All right, now Luminosity finds themselves in a situation where they can put Laterbot away. They're going to have the guns. Laterbot, you mentioned it was a very expensive round for them. We'll take a look at Eco here as soon as we can, but they are not in an ideal situation. Yeah, they've managed to work their way back into this thing, but thank you. They don't have a ton in their pockets. Biotic Rain buying down to 0. DSK very low as well, and those are Spectres for DSK and POS. So Luminosity, again, they can rattle off this round. They're poised to build off of that and put a couple more up on the board and potentially put Laterbot away.
Starts with this potential push towards this B site. Of course, we've seen a significant lack of Sage so far in this tournament. Usually the setup is you put the wall up and then you start to gain control from the opposite side. And, you know, you'll wall up left and you'll gain control the right or vice versa. In early looks, Recon Bolt tells us that no one's here, but Abe is ready with the peek in. Unfortunate for timing, he decides to back away. And the smoke will tell him, well, now I can't push back in. They'll get control. Owl Drone at least scouting out, but they don't notice Biotic Rain, who now switches to the Recon Bolt, spots out some of those players. Now look at the rest of this team, Doug. Laterbot, the rest of this team trying to find a flank towards the courtyard. Can this hurt?
Yeah, DSK, he once again flanks. Abe was another one on the flank as well. That's going to give him empty front access to get onto the B site if they continue to push that in. Two members of Luminosity are going to be sandwiched in. It's just Stellar and the Reyna over on the back site as they are heavily outnumbered. Thief is able to get one. Yeah, the spike is down. At this point, they're just trying to buy time. Stellar's able to get one as well. Looking for the second one. Give it to him, baby. Abe is out, but POS and DSK even things out. It was close. It was dicey, but Laterbot win another one.
Very, very close there. You know, I thought for a moment that Thief alongside Stellar were going to be able to clutch out the round. They had great positioning as well, able to anticipate that their, you know, for lack of a better term, backsides were covered. They knew that no one was going to be coming in from C-Link. So as a result, they could focus up on an A-Link and they could focus up on the courtyard. And for a moment there, a glimpse of hope came across their eyes and they saw victory before them. There was just too many members to deal with. Too disadvantageous for them in terms of man advantage. Manpower just not there. And now back down to the eco for them. It's going to be rough. They're going to start to bleed some of these rounds. And for Laterbot, it's good news. They'll be able to catch up. This is likely going to be 9-7. And that puts us within 2. Very scary stuff for your Luminosity, trying to find momentum in this second half.
Yeah, KZ, however, has used the Blade Storm. We've seen it already today. A Blade Storm in an eco round is certainly not a done deal, but holy smokes, that's a done deal. DSK, Abe, and Biotic Rain are just ripping through Luminosity. Just one member left. This round, for all intents and purposes, going in favor of Laterbot.
Oh, okay. Oh! Prado? Wake up, folks. Now, oh, okay. He doesn't notice Biotic Rain. I get it. I get it. Sova, he's wearing a little blue. Looks very similar to the box. Can definitely trip you up. But wow, what a play there almost from a Prado. And really, despite the rounds going to the side of Laterbot, it's Luminosity that, in a very unfortunate position in terms of their economy, are still able to keep things close and do some heavy damage. Every round that you need to reinvest in a new weapon is a round that you're threatened. If you lose, you're not going to have enough for the round to follow, and that Luminosity could start to find this lead, start to find this advantage. So if they keep keeping these ecos close, that puts them in a great position to try to find some momentum back. But in order to find that momentum, they need to have these successful gun rounds, and so far we haven't seen that on their attacker side.
KZ. Oh, KZ. Not going to land, but the Hunter's Fury out of Venerated. Looks like it might go a little wide as well, but what do you need an arrow for when you've got a sniper in the hands of KZ? He's able to clean him up. Luminosity, for the first time this half, if I'm not mistaken, are going to have the numbers advantage this early on in the round, of 5v4, and the spike creeping its way over towards A.
Maybe looking towards B once again, as it was originally A, but something in their gut told them that A does not look nice this time of year. And it's going to be B that they want now. First initial shot here from Thief, using the dismiss to gather intel. Biotic Rain has consistently been playing close towards this B site, ready for anything and everything. But as he starts to peek through, it's KZ that takes him down. And one at a time, Doug, they will start to fall apart. Abe, last man standing. As the showstopper in tow, might be able to use it here. Finds one pick. That's a couple more that he needs to come through. Tailwind going to save KZ's life. In this 1v4, Doug, seems like it's only a matter of time before Abe gives Luminosity round number 10. Yeah, that was a great take. Really like the setup there, the push-in, Thief, the rest of the team supporting him. Just overall, a good site take. And started off with that first pick on the C site. Then, for some reason, Zid was standing, I believe it was on the box or something like that. And they just like, okay, that's an easy kill. We'll take that. And then it's a 5v3. Biotic Rain couldn't stop him. It was just a good play from Luminosity.
And you know, in an ideal situation there, Abe is able to get away with the gun, save it, but unfortunately, when you're as outnumbered as he was there, it's really tough to stay alive long enough and not be hunted down. So Venerated was able to find him, and that's gonna put Laterbot in a dreaded situation. I see one Phantom and then a mixed bag the rest of the way. A couple of classics, a Spectre, and a Ghost. As well, POS was able to pick up a little something else, but certainly not an ideal situation here. The spike slowly going to creep its way up a long. There are a couple of members of Laterbot who are around, but Luminosity should be able to get onto the site with relative ease. Zid, the one potential wrinkle is in this plan. Yeah, he's going to push up. The dart is going to spot him out. However, and now they know exactly where he is on the other side. How a Proto and Thief are able to get them a couple of very important kills to get them onto the site. Now the spike is going to go down as well. Luminosity have full control.
They do have DSK coming in from behind, but of course Venerated, he's there waiting. The rest of the team likely going to split up, try to find the divide and conquer approach, and don't know how successful it'll be. It's 5 players stacked up, but maybe Laterbot doesn't even want to contest. They might be playing for exits, and at the current moment, DSK is the only contact point for the exits that might come in from the opposite side. And for Biotic Rain, they may be looking for a late defuse or maybe some late picks as they try to run away. That one doesn't work out quite well. There is one player, DSK, who's ready. They start to come through. The ball line, or the flashpoint at least. Spectre's going to find one. And really great play there from KZ as DSK flicks over to the Jet, who's standing up there on the garden boxes. Tailwind's out of the crosshair. Just gets in a different position so the rest of his team can just hop in and clean it up. But Doug, that puts us 11-7 with Laterbot now on another gun round and 5 ultimates available. Should be a round that they try to use some of these to secure momentum back in their favor.
Yeah, and I like how heady of a play that was out of Laterbot, knowing that there was probably no chance you were going to retake that and defuse the spike to play for exits. Yeah, it didn't pay off as well as they would have liked, but I love how DSK set up there to try to make something happen here. But again, now that as you mentioned, Simo, now that they have all of these ults online on the side of Laterbot, this round is guaranteed to be a banger. They have set up a good bit of utility on A site from the Cypher. They've got a cam over there as well, but the majority of their personnel is going to be on the western side of the map. The spike still hasn't even made a commitment either which way, but it looks like they're going to try to push on to B.
The current moment does look like Luminosity are playing for picks, using their star players to great effect. KZ playing towards the C site, doesn't find a pick with the op. They have Thief playing towards the middle in the courtyard, seeing if there's any members of Laterbot in movement, in rotation. So far, it doesn't find anything, and now it's just going to be the be-all, end-all decider, the A site. A lot of utility there, cyber cages, tripwires, the works, and the rest of the team playing heavy towards the A side as well. So expect great rotations, great support for the retake, and maybe even a lack of potential for Luminosity to get into the post plan. We're about to find out as they're ready with 30 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, they're going to have to go. Number one, the clock is ticking, like you said. But number two, they got the intel that they needed with that Omen ult, so they know where they're going to be.
No.
Biotic Rain able to get a huge opening kill there, but members of Luminosity have made it onto the site. There you hear the Hunter's Fury and the Rolling Thunder. It's going to be used in conjunction to buy them time. There are 8 seconds left. They're going to have to get the spike down as soon as they can. It looks like that is no longer a factor, and it's just going to come down to slays. Neither team wants to push up. What a well-played round by LaterBot.
That entire round goes to Luminosity if Thief finds Biotic Rain there. He pushes in, he finds Biotic Rain, he finds DSK, but he had too many angles to cover, and he was so afraid of somebody rotating from C-Link, and I mean, rightfully so. You're starting to enter into this journey behind enemy lines, trying to save Private Ryan. But unfortunately, the only person that needed saving was himself. Biotic Rain in a great position. Thief, I don't think anticipated or checked and didn't entirely notice that somebody was there, or Biotic Rain was covered enough to not see him. But if Thief finds himself that pick, that like LaterBot fall apart, because they're like, where does our defense now need holes filling since we've lost this player towards A-Link? So like the attempt from Luminosity, but LaterBot after that pick, it was downhill for the rest of Luminosity. So now next round, we'll see how they bounce back.
Well, and Simo, you set that round up perfectly. You called out the ults early on and how important it was going to be that they use them. Those ults won them that round. To be able to delay that with the Hunter's Fury and the Rolling Thunder bought them the time to where Luminosity was not able to get the spike down. So incredible looking into the future on your behalf. I've got to tip my hat to you here, good sir. But once again, it's going to be a hit onto A, and this time there's not going to be nearly as much to delay them. The spike goes down. There is the showstopper on the side of Raze if they choose to use it. But for now, that's certainly not the case. It's going to be a straight on 5v5 here at 11-8. You see all of that utility begin to be used. The ult out of Reyna is going to be kept there, but they know exactly where she is as she hangs out in Hell. Proto holding this tight angle. The dart's going to give them away, but with all of that, LaterBot is still not worked their way onto the site. It looks like they're going to wait, and it's going to be electric. There's the showstopper. Biotic, oh, excuse me, it's Abe, and Abe's able to get two. Venerated tries to trade back out. KZ not able to land the shot. LaterBot does it again on A. They defeat Luminosity this round. They're going to get the spike defused, and they're going to bring it down to 2.
Okay, so as I was watching that round unfold, when they owl droned Hell and they saw 2 players there, especially Thief with the Empress activated, I was like, Luminosity need to find a way to support these players in Hell, and they need to find it fast. They need to find and get those players out of there, get them into a different post-plant position, because they're going to come in and they're going to swing hard, especially a Prado as well. He was ready with the push in from Yellow, but just how do you anticipate that showstopper? And then once I saw it unfold before my eyes, I'm like, yeah, this round's over. There's no way you come back from that. So really great heads-up play from LaterBot. They scout out their opposition, and they read that they're not gonna they're gonna stay there. We can hold them there, and we could use that to our advantage. So great play, 11-9, potential for OT. Luminosity need 2 to close things out. For LaterBot, they're just doing the catch-up game, trying to get back to that even score line. Early looks, this could be another opportunity to do just that.
Venerated with the Hunter's Fury. The last shot isn't going to connect, but a good bit of damage was done. The spike not anywhere near C, but members of Luminosity are dropping as they're down to 3. LaterBot will have the personnel advantage, at least for the time being. They have a ton of utility over on A, but they don't have anyone there. And now with Abe sitting on the sideline as well, it's going to even things up at 3 apiece. Also worth noting that the Omen is down to scraps. As far as health goes, you hear the spike is going to go down over on B, and now it's going to be a site to retake if you're LaterBot.
Yeah, they do have Venerated who's playing at distance. I'm not exactly sure if he can see the spike from there. Thief going to find an early pick. POS trying to flush this player out from behind Gong, and they're trying to do that as best as they can. Biotic Rain finally bites the bullet, finds one. Stellar trades him away, but Biotic Rain doesn't really have a whole lot of utility to stop Venerated from this play. So he's going to try to defuse, hold the crosshair there. All Venerated needs to do is just buy time. He hasn't committed. Oh, this is such a good play. Shock Dart, that's going to make things even worse. Venerated, all he needs to do is hide. He's starting to run away, and he's going to do exactly that. Nice timing there. We'll see if Biotic Rain lands his defuse. Here comes the swing from Venerated. Biotic Rain still takes him down, but ultimately, it's not enough. I love the way Venerated plays that. calm, cool, and collected, just buying his team enough time. Don't swing if you don't have to. No need for a hero play if the hero is time, after all.
He was just like a nuisance the entire time. I'm here, I'm not here. I'm gonna get your attention, but I'm not gonna let you defuse the spike. I'm gonna make you fight me, but then I'm gonna run away when you decide to fight me. He played that so well.
Yes.
And it was exactly what Luminosity needed. Now they find themselves at match point. We'll take a look at Eco here in a moment, but LaterBot find themselves at a severe deficit. They have the guns, great, but when you're down as far as you are in a situation like this, and what do you do?
Pay attention to POS here. He's got the judge. He hasn't played in this position as of yet. Early perks or early picks from Zid. Honestly, I know that like every frag's important, but that kind of denies the judge play there. They're not going to peek that once again, but DSK is able to correct that. As he's now playing close, they'll snuff it out and find him.
No.
That's the neural theft as well. Actually gives a lot of information, and this might give KZ the opportunity to kind of chase them and run them down. Stellar teleporting over. Abe might be able to get the job done here by shooting through the box, but the paranoia will give Stellar some space, and now LaterBot forced into the retake that might end the map.
It's going to be a straight up 4v4 here. Good against good. No ults to think about. They're going to have all of the artillery that they need. The site has been taken by Luminosity, and it looks like LaterBot is going to be pushing 3 from the top ropes. Abe and Biotic Rain are able to get one apiece. POS gets one as well. KZ, the last one here. He's got the Blade Storm.
Oh.
He's going to try to get a hero play. Gets up close and personal. Slices and dices POS onto the sideline. A 1v1. He needs the shots. The 3-piece in to win the round and to win the game. Luminosity defeat LaterBot.